So the cavadee festival, today itself, there is a cavadee today. Sitre cavadee, I guess, no? There is a cavadee today. And it is, celebrated in honor of Lord Muruga. But today we are going to discuss about the Thaipusam cavadee, right? The one which we celebrate usually in January or February. Okay, it is called the Thaipusam cavadee. Maintenant, cavadee, les caves écrits par un C ou bien par un K. Usually C. Maintenant, on place D-E-E ou quand même D-I aussi. That's fine, okay? So, Thaipusam cavadee, why do we say Thai? Thai means is the month of Thai. In Tamil, pareil comment les hindous aussi nous suivent a month like Chaitra Mas, no? Tamil aussi, no specific to the month, right? So the month which falls on January and February is known as Thai. So it is called Thaipusam cavadee. And Thaipusam cavadee is celebrated on the full moon of the month of January or February. Okay, on the full moon. Remember that. And whom do we revere? Sorry. Whom do we revere? Whom do we pray for cavadee? Is Lord Muruga. Right? God Muruga. Now for cavadee, the word comes from, the main word cavadee comes from the two words, kavu and tadi. Okay? You add both of them, it becomes cavadee. So kavu means what? To carry. And you must be aware on cavadee, they carry, no? On their shoulders, they carry the cavadee. So they carry. And tadi means wooden stick. Parce que kavri là, il fait avec wooden stick. Okay? And the traditional way of making a cavadee is semicircular. Pareil comme pour Mahashivratri, nous dit que the way to make a cover is actually semicircular, like this. And cover aussi supposé pareil, and cavadee aussi bien pareil, supposé pareil. But yes, nowadays people may be out of their devotion. They build big cavities. For Mahashivratri, they build big cover, no? Which somehow becomes an obstacle also. But fine. This is up to them, right? Well, the point is the traditional way of making a cavadee is semicircular, like you can see here. And the semicircular cavadee, they carry on their shoulder, right? So the tradition of carrying a semicircular on the shoulder. But not carrying on the shoulder. Qui fait on the shoulder. Maybe you have heard in English, we say to shoulder responsibilities. No? Shouldering responsibilities. Ça veut dire ou capable prend une responsabilité aux épaules. C'est ça the literal translation, on va dire. Okay? Donc, carrying a cavadee means you can take the responsibility of carrying the cavadee from one place, from one temple to another. Right? La même chose avec Mahashivratri. We should carry on the shoulder, which signifies we are ready to shoulder responsibility. Okay? So nowadays we have cavities of different shapes and different sizes. At times you will see like a temple. No, so it fait a cavity like a temple also. Different size and different shapes. Now, what is being used to decorate that cavity? Normally, il servi bamboo, wooden stick ou bien bamboo. And they decorate that with leaves different colorful flowers, tender shoots of coconuts and kiapil, sa feuille jaune from coconut, which they use, lemons, photos or statues of Muruga or of his family. Okay, any picture, any murti they use on the cavadee. Peacock feather, as you can see in the picture here, peacock feather, and brass bells. Ben, si la cloche, non? Because the pimba says la cloche a sonné. They also make the person next to them aware that someone carrying the cover is coming. Pas cover to cavity, okay, is coming. And also they put a lota, ou bien you call that a pot. The tatashan lota, usually. And what do they carry in that? They carry milk. Et c'est ça même, the milk they are going to offer to Muruga. C'est qu'ils se faire abhishek, comment on dit, no? They offer this milk to Muruga. And some of the milk, the priest will leave some of the milk in the lota, in the pot. Why? Because this will be shared as prasad. Offering we usually offer to God and we consume that. No? So the milk also is shared. Now, to whom do we share that? I don't know if you have been to Kovil for cavadee, ou bien si vous êtes allé cavadee aussi. We don't share this milk only to people of our family or people we know. And n'importe un who wants that milk, il peut envoyer cela mais que tout pour donner the milk, no? So here is, sharing what we have, sharing the milk that we got, which is now sacred. Hindus, we consider that when you offer something to the Lord, it becomes sacred. That's why we consume it. Sinon, pas tu consume it. Sinon, pas tu offer it. Okay, it becomes sacred, it becomes purified. So that's why we are sharing the milk as prasad, right? Now, what about the preparation of cavadee? There is strict fasting for 10 days. Quand we're not holy aussi, we keep fast, if you know that. We keep fast for Holi, but for Holi we eat lots of things, lots of sweets, no? Even for Diwali. But here there is strict fasting. The NCP pareil comme fasting during Durga Puja, which is strict. People or devotees go to the temple every day to worship the Lord. Usually in Mauritius, the culture is like that. In the evening, or bien late afternoon, you call that, or in the evening, prayers are being done in temples, in Kovil, to revere the Lord, where the priest recites mantras. Quand il fait la prière, of course, he recite mantras, prayers, and relate many stories related to the festival or to the Lord. The priests give discourses, speeches. The priests explain to the devotees, to people there, about the stories related to cavadee, about the stories related to Muruga, ou bien about things, how we should be performing the cavadee festival. Okay. Remember well what is meant by fasting. Last time I gave you this question to do. I think so. What is fasting? You can get a question like that. What is meant by fasting? Okay. But maybe you will write fasting means eating vegetarian food. Fasting means we do not smoke or drink alcoholic drinks. Mais nous faire tout ça for what? We don't drink alcoholic drinks, we don't smoke, we don't eat non-vegetarian food. For what? Why do we do that? C'est to keep ourselves pure. Outer purity we have, every day we take bath. But the inner purity also is important. Maybe you have heard about it that God has given us this body. This body is a temple. Maybe you have heard that. It is a temple. This body should be kept, well kept. It should be purified. Okay, it should be purified. That's why nous pas, durant fasting, nous pas fumer, for example. One example. Okay. So fasting is a purification, ou bien on appelle the inner purification, for our further journey. Further journey of what? Parce que durant ça 10 jours de carême là, la vie, bien sûr, il faut continuer. Après ça, 10 jours carême là. So our further journey of life, that's why we keep fast. Okay? Remember that well. You may get a question of 1 mark there. A white flag is hoisted avant que fasting commence. Okay, a white flag is hoisted. Nous appelle ça ritual of hoisting the white flag. Là, nous appelle ça cavadee, right? Cavadee. We do that, which means, which shows, which signify, quand un démon trouve sa white flag là, that the fasting for cavadee has started. Okay. This is one among the ritual. You have to know it. Now, what about the origin of cavadee? You have to know the story. Maintenant, this story n'a pas la prendre ça par cœur. Comprends cette histoire-là, write it in your own words. That will be good. Okay? Now, there was a man, well, this is one of the nicest photo I could get. There was a man whose name was Idamban. Okay? Idamban. And Idamban means actually arrogant. The meaning of the word is arrogant. Now, this man was a reform bandit and a disciple of a guru known as Agastya. So he was not a nice person initially, but later he reformed himself and he became a disciple. His guru's name was Agastya. Okay. Ou gete comment on prononce li pour capable écrire li, but this is how we pronounce Agastya. So one day, Guru, Linja's disciple, Idamban, set off for the mountains and bring me two mountain peaks, which name were Shivgiri and Shaktigiri. Giri means, Giri in Sanskrit means mountain, ou bien hill. Giri en Hindi veut dire tomber, no? But this is Sanskrit here, means mountain. So the Guru told Idamban, you go on you set for a journey and you bring me 2 mountain peaks, which are Shivgiri and Shaktigiri. Right? Now, when a Guru says something, a disciple has to abide, has to listen, has to obey. And Idamban, of course, he accepted. So, Guru told him that you will attach them both at the ends of a cavadee. C'est ça, by the instruction of his guru. Et c'est la même façon pour trouver qu'il nous saille un cavadee. We carry a cavadee. So Idamban, very obedient and faithful, he listened, he obeyed to his guru. He went on his journey together with his wife. Okay, and he went there, he took the Shivgiri, the Shaktigiri, and was returning. He was returning to meet Agastya. Now, what happened on the way? On the way, Idamban felt very arrogant, arrogant, that he is such a person who is able to carry Shivgiri and Shaktigiri. Il paraît, vous autres, quand un démon a un pouvoir, there is always a little arrogance which comes with it. Okay? Fait comme un démon a un million, whatever, a little arrogance will be there. That's why we always say, nous vivons with modesty, no? Being modest. Ne pas vivre une situation que we don't have anything or we don't have too much. Non injuste. Why? Why we should be modest in things? Parce que parfois nous develop pride and arrogance. But if we have too much, but what to do with it, we need to share. Bon, ben, explique ça déjà parce que après we'll do that again, right? So Idamban was filled with pride, was arrogant, que his guru told him to do so, and he has done it. And he compared, he felt that he was even greater than his own guru, parce que l'Ipeka saye de Giri, Shiv Giri and Shakti Giri, right? But now it was time to teach him a lesson. So Muruga decided to teach him a lesson. With whole humility, he taught him a lesson. So Muruga, what he did, he assumed a form of a little boy, around 6-year-old boy. And he hid himself on one of the mountain, on one of the giri, which Idamban was carrying. Idamban of fait s'arrêtait for a small rest, okay, for a nap. So then Muruga said, okay, I'm going to teach him a lesson in a form of a little boy, 6-year-old boy approach, and he hid himself on one of the mountain. Now, when Idamban woke up and he was trying to lift the Shivgiri and Shaktigiri, he could not, because it became very, very heavy that he could not lift both of them. And then what happened? He spotted the boy with a stick on the hill, on one of the hills. And the boy was saying, these are mine. Sati boy means the little boy, Muruga, who was there. He said that these two Giri, Shivgiri and Shaktigiri, they are mine. But Idamban became very angry and both fell to fighting. They both started fighting. So Idamban was angry because, of course, he is the one who carried Shivgiri and Shaktigiri for so long. And now someone comes and say that, okay, this is mine. Et une leçon ici à retirer. You know, people, all of us, we have certain belongings. Someone may have 1 car, 2 cars, many cars, 1 house, 2 houses. Someone may have lots of money, lots of gold. But at the end, tout ça là pour qui? J'espère que c'est saisissement. Tout ça là pour qui? In the Isha Upanishad, I'll type it here. So in the Isha Upanishad, we have 108 Upanishads. One of them is the Isha Upanishad, which says that God is the master of all, of everything, ou bien of all. So my point is, whatever we possess, property, this and that, fine. It's about a matter of time. Tomorrow when I'll die, I'm not going to carry with me my house, my relations, my car, whatever thing. No. Everything will remain here. And le dimun peut-être pour servir, mais ici les pour quitter les parler. Everything belongs to God. God is, ou ka mettre dans façon là, God is the master of all, ou bien of everything. Okay, maybe for some time we can say this is ours. C'est ça qui Idamban peut faire. Okay, but at the end, if we realize nothing is ours. Now, fine, there is also a logic. Idamban in sa yesade pilwa invini and someone else come and say this is mine. But we should not be angry. This is also another lesson. We should not be angry because when we are angry, what happens? We take the wrong decisions, which he did in fighting. Okay. Par le dialogue, no communication, we can solve issues, right? Bon, ça c'est my lessons. My point here is why I'm telling you all these things. Même quand on peut lire une histoire, on peut écrire une histoire, a story, there are always lessons you should take out from the story. Okay? Pas c'est écrire une histoire là, fini, bien joli. Okay, you'll get few marks for that, but you won't get full marks for that. Surtout s'il y a une question 10 points. Okay? So in the fight that Anshu Didambad was mortally wounded. Mortally wounded veut dire sur les corps, mortal. Mortal veut dire quelque chose qui détruit, qui mord. No? So it means the body. When we'll die, our body will be perished. So Idamban, he was wounded. Right? But on sage Agatyar intercession, he was brought back to life. Idamban immediately prostrated himself before Muruga because he realized that person is Muruga. And he promised on that day, he vowed on that day that he is going to help mortals, to help man, to help people who carry cavadee, to relieve them of their miseries. This is the promise he made on that day because he realized this is Muruga, the little boy with whom he was fighting for nothing, actually, right? So he promised to help all those people. That's why you see when pilgrims, they walk on the road for cavadee fair show at that period of the year, January, February. Some people, they throw water on the road. Bon, ça ne veut faire qu'il vient plus chaud parce qu'il y a la vapeur. Well, this is something else. But when they throw the water, it is a minute of solace, of peace. Où il peut pas briller à ce moment. No? So what are they doing? The person who is carrying the cover, il peut marcher, pieds nus, right? Barefooted. And he's carrying something which might be heavy. Okay? And it is hot. And there might be lots of people in a group, in a procession. There is a crowd. It's not always easy to walk like that. So people, what they do, they throw water on the road to relieve them from that pain. Quand nous pouvons marcher le col d'osso, les pieds brûlés, whatever it is. But nous pouvons faire a sacrifice. So those people, they help in that way, just like Idamban promised to help. Maintenant, il y a un autre aussi aspect que énormément de monde servent jus, tout ça, on the road. C'est pas pour the people who are carrying the cavadee, but for those who are accompanying them, sorry. Okay? For them, they can drink something because it's hot. And in the temples, you know, there is food which is distributed, even lemon water which is distributed, which you call panakon, tout ça, or just water also. This is called relieving people, devotees, from their miseries, from their pain, for a moment. You have devotees because they are suffering as such, no. But the suffering, I told you, it can be in the form of the heat. It's not too nice, no, to walk barefooted there. But yes, it is a great sacrifice that those people do. They walk like that, carrying the cover, barefooted and all. And whatever sacrifice we do with whole devotion, okay, with full faith in God. Pas qu'il nous peut marcher avec nous cavadee, nous peut penser ça quand pour finir quand mon palme la case, etc. No, we should not be having that thought. Nous avons complete determination, complete faith in God. Then God listens to our prayers. He put through the sacrifice, and God is going to bless us. Right? Maintenant, pas seulement, God does not bless only those who carry the cover, but those who are helping as well. Comme on dit, people partage food or drink or whatever. This is service. We call that community work. Service ou bien community work. So this is also being rewarded by the Lord, right? Now, the burden carried by Idamban has passed down in the form of cavadee. Pareil comme Idamban in Sayesala, the Shivgiri and Shaktigiri. So in the same way, people started carrying, comment on appelle ça, cavadee on the shoulder, which is a form of sacrifice, right? So devotees carry the cavadee to ask for forgiveness, to keep a vow, or to offer thanks to Lord Muruga. Now, when we celebrate a festival, there is a reason of celebrating it. But not especially if a devotee is celebrating it. There is a reason. Qui fait la personne peut-être il peut celebrate, ou bien il peut carry, you can say the cover. Il peut cover encore. The cavadee, sorry. Okay. Why is he carrying the cavadee? Why is he doing this type of sacrifice? Okay. Which the reason might be he is asking for forgiveness. Maybe he knows that he has done many wrong things and he's asking for forgiveness from the Lord. Ou bien he's keeping a vow. You know, Simon fait promesse, tout ça là. Non, and je peux comment faire son tas avec bon Dieu. Que if God gives me this, I will carry the cavity. So it can be in that form also, keeping a vow, ou bien to offer thanks to the Lord, thanking the Lord, you have given me so many things. Now many people pray Muruga because Muruga is a remover of diseases. Muruga is a god known as remover of diseases. So many people who got certain diseases, who have been cured, ou bien sont dans process of being cured, they pray Muruga by carrying the cavadee. You may get a question like this, qui fait un monde capable celebrate cavadee, right? Bon, it may be that a person has nothing to do with forgiveness, keeping a vow, ou bien to thanks Lord Muruga. But we can thank Lord Muruga en général parce que we have a life. He's keeping us alive. He's giving us courage. That is enough to celebrate the cavadee festival, to thank him. But now this is the piercing, okay, which they do on cavadee. They use the lemons and they pierce that on their body. But now this piercing is known as a sacrifice. Okay, it is a form of sacrifice. Imaginez dans l'égo ou pique tout ça là et un limon normalement, un petit peu l'eau bien sûr. Now you think about having all these lemons là, l'eau ou l'eau, l'eau, les deux, whatever. Okay. So it's not an easy thing to do. So this is a form of sacrifice to please God, to get the grace of God. Now, some people, they pierce their tongue. In this photo, you will see. They pierce their tongue with a veil, spear-like needles. Muruga's weapon is a veil, it's a spear. No? Donc, it pierce the tongue. Qui fait nous pierce the tongue? Parce que we are not supposed to talk when we are walking, carrying the cavadee. Those who do not pierce, they just put a cloth on their mouth, la toile on their mouth, which signifies that they should not talk. And you will see that they carry a stick. The stick is to make them remember of their vow. What a beauty. No. We're not supposed to be distracted. This is one example I'm giving you now. You are not supposed to be distracted. Donc, this stick is going to remind you that you have taken a vow of carrying the cavadee, so you need to have full concentration there. Right? Now, the question is, est-ce qu'il nous besoin faire autant piercing? You have seen maybe. No? Should we do that or not? It depends on the person's devotion. He wants to do that for the Lord. But pour moi, personally, I'm giving you my perception here. My perception is we should not be doing these things. It's not good to, hurt the body to that extent. And as I saw that once, that cavity, that attaché avec un lacode or something, is it pièce ça dans it lido, is it risque cavity là. I have seen this also, which is very painful. It must be. But God is pleased with that. Yes, in fair devotion, he will be pleased. But he doesn't really need all these things. I'm not saying that people should not do that. But for God, only having a pure heart with full of devotion is enough for him, like Krishna has stated in the Bhagavad Gita. That is enough for him. Now, if the person wants to do this or that, that's up to them. Right? So it is a physical discipline and it is a mental discipline. Si mentally ou pas discipliné, you won't be able to do that, carrying the cavity with the piercing and all. That's why there is the period of fasting also. And many women, they carry the pot of milk, okay, known as the palkudam. I hope I'm pronounce it well. So this is here about the fasting, taking vegetarian meals, sexual abstinence, husband, wife, they are not supposed to sleep together, right? So this I told you already. Well, some women, they do that. They carry the pot like this. So everyone joined together to celebrate this festival. Might be the priest, the social worker, the politicians, ban politician, those people in the government. They build the road, make the road safer to Sano. Water also are being poured by CWA also. Now, on the 8th day of fasting, all devotees walk thrice around the Lord, the statue of the Lord. Okay, which is fasting. On the 9th day, devotees carry the veil and go around the temple. Zutfeletu temple. They carry the veil. On the eve of the festival, what happened? Devotees get busy with their cavadees. Bon, quand on dit veil, peut-être aussi avec the Murti of Muruga. I know here, Tia Rouge fait procession with the Murti of Muruga also, right? So on the eve, usually we get busy building our cavity and all. We have friends and relatives coming to help. Now on the day of cavity, devotees go to the temple to worship the Lord. They take a ritual bath and they do the piercing to some. And when they do the piercing, mantras are being chanted. They walk around the temple and then they leave the temple. They proceed to their destination. Okay, Zutalden Le temple maybe to offer the milk. So on the way during the procession, there people dance, kolatam dance, sacred verses are chanted, for prayers, kirtan, bhajan, and traditional clothes are being worn, should be decent. We apply sacred ashes, that is vibhuti. We wear rosaries, banmala, no? Around the neck. There is also the lemon around the waist, and we cover our mouth, as I told you, to observe silence. We walk barefooted. Some carry the veil only, or bien they attach the veil to the cavity, which represent wisdom, okay, which destroys the inner enemies. Last time I have been telling you, we have so many enemies dans nous-mêmes. the demons in us. So carrying the veil together with the cavadee, it means destroying these things. And then we offer the milk to the Lord. And on the 11th day, ça veut dire après le cavadee festival, the banner is brought down. You know, ça pavillon qui t'y lève là, on the first day of fasting. This is brought down, which is known as the Kodi Irakam. Quand je te lève pavillon, on appelle les Kodi Etram. Quand je descends pavillon, on appelle les Kodi Irakam. Right? So this is a bit about the festival. But now media has a role in it. Dr. Festival media has a role. And they, you know, in our programs on radio, on TV, on the net, on social media, right? To propagate the significance of this festival. You know, the tourists, je trouve ça very intéressant, bien intéressant pour get a procession comme ça, right? It becomes a tourist attraction also, right? Voilà, guys, this is about festival cavadee.